Hey y'all, welcome to another session that we're getting into and diving deeper in to the Proverbs 31 woman. As I'm doing this voiceover, y'all may hear some crows, some bugs, some chirping of mama birds, and maybe some baby birds if you listen carefully. You see, right outside that kitchen to my right, but if you're looking from this way to your left, there's a little back door that goes off there to a back porch. And I'm getting to sit out here and do this voiceover because, as I told y'all in the video before this one, I planned my day carefully. So I'm able to come out here now and enjoy me just a little bit of relaxation time, sitting on this back deck in the sunshine, listening to everything that's going on around me, and especially these poor little mama birds. Let me tell y'all, you want to talk about another creature that is busy right now with it spring and going on into late spring, fixing to, won't be long, we'll be in summertime. But right now, these mamas are busy. They've got several mouths to feed. They're flittering from tree to tree to tree, looking for food for their babies, scurrying around in the yard, looking for worms or bugs or anything they can get a hold of. She's busy. She has a plan. And she's getting everything done and still taking care of her children. So that's something I want to try to cover today. So if y'all hear a car go by or something like that, just be patient. I'm going to do this voiceover, enjoying this sunshine with a cup of coffee in my hand. Because you see, I did all this stuff kind of this morning and a little bit the night before. So my day today would go by a little smoother. And I'd have some time like this in the afternoon. So let's get started. In the video before this one, I stated that she had a plan. Y'all, this is the first thing that just come to mind on the Proverbs 31 woman. And I said we would probably do some of these videos out of order concerning the verses that they're in order in the Bible. It's okay. But being a seasoned mother and grandmother, I'm going into my golden years, eyes wide open, let me tell you, because a lot of things have changed. And there's mothers today young mothers, franticking because they're so busy. And there may be some young ladies out there that didn't have a mother or a grandmother to teach them what it's going to be like when kids come along. Things are a little bit simpler when you're single. I mean, just you and your husband in the home, or your partner, your significant other. When children come along, your days are going to change. And being a seasoned mother and grandmother, I feel like I can share some of my ideas with y'all. In the video before this one, we talked about she had a plan and why it's important to have a plan, why you kind of need one, especially when that first child starts coming along. In my young season, when it was just me and my husband, I could just whip through the house in no time flat. I could get everything done. Wasn't that hard. But then when that first baby come along, now I have to say this. When my first child come along, I did not suffer postpartum depression. I was blessed. I was too happy, being full of joy, and I was just happy. I wanted to hurry up and get out of that bed and do those things, and yeah. I spent 3 days in the hospital. Our oldest one was had a little bit of a problem with his white blood cell count, and they had to keep him a day longer. And on that day, my firstborn was born 2 days before mine and my husband's wedding anniversary. So we spent our anniversary in the women's hospital. The day that they were keeping him, but they released me, was the actual day of our anniversary. So we were going home the next day. So we kind of missed our anniversary. But y'all, I could not wait to get home because I wanted to start on my motherhood journey. I guess I wanted to be Superwoman. I don't know what I was thinking, but I did not suffer from postpartum depression. I wanted to get up and get moving, and I got home, and I was working at the time, and y'all, I worked in a furniture factory. Yes, where it'll wear you out. And I should have been taking that time to get to know my baby, sit down, rest, relax, snuggle, and still keep up with my house. But I don't know, y'all. I had energy. I wanted to do all the things. And I guess that's where my learning come in at. Now that second one, oh, Jesus, help me. I was exhausted the whole pregnancy. All I wanted to do was sleep. At this time, when the second one was born, I had a different job, and I had an office job working in our local hospital. I was trying to work up my way to being able to work from home, but their plans about that kind of like went down the toilet, so I was not able to. But when I did get to take off work, that was when I became a stay-at-home mom, was when our second child was born. And he said, you do not have to return to work after the baby's born. After your maternity leave, you can take off work. I told y'all my story. He climbed the ladder, got more education, all the certifications, got all the better jobs, and we worked our way up to where we could do it off of one income, and I could be a stay-at-home mom because I wanted to homeschool. He always knew my dreams. Now, during my maternity leave, I'm doing good with that first one. I had a plan. I come up with ways. When that second one came along, it looked a little bit different, but almost the same. I tried to carry out those same plans, but y'all, that second baby had a mind of his own. I couldn't put him down for nothing. I would just start moving in a downward motion. And if he even thought for 1 minute I was fixing to release him from my grasp and my arms, oh my gosh, the kicking, the crying, the protesting would begin. If I even got out of his sight for 1 minute just to go potty, pandemonium set in. I could not get out of his sight. I could not do anything. So I had to adjust my plans. What worked with the first one didn't go as smooth as when that second one came along. And that's the point I'm going to try to make in this video. Your homemaking is going to change and your plans are going to change the more baby or when a baby or the more babies that come along. You're going to have to make some changes in your plans, some tweaking you're going to have to do. I want to give y'all some ideas of some things that I did with our firstborn that, was just going wonderful. And then what I had to start doing with the secondborn. And y'all, let me tell y'all, what I taught myself during those times came in handy when granddaughters come along. Because I was with my granddaughters 7 days a week, sometimes anywhere between 8 hours a day to them just spending the night. Okay? Their mommy was busy trying to further her education in the medical field. There was college classes. She was working a job. You throw in clinicals on top of that. And I was there. We have a bond. Now, our son, he was working, and then there would be times he would be on call. He's a lineman for our local power company, and y'all know what that means. He gets called out a lot, and I'm like, you know what? You're on call this week. Why don't you just let them spend the night? Because don't jerk them out of bed at 2 o'clock in the morning and drive them over here. If you've got a call and during a storm, just let them sleep peacefully here at my house. So my grandchildren were at my house a lot. And I'm talking from the time they were born till they went to kindergarten. That first 5 years was crucial. But it was important. And I made do of every moment. Now, rewind back to when mine were born, we didn't have YouTube. We didn't have blogs. I'm pretty sure they were a thing, but I wasn't into them then. And there was no YouTube. We barely had cell phones. Oh, I hear you, Mama. Yes. I hear you. Y'all hear her? Oh, I'm sorry. Am I waking up the babies? I'm so sorry. She said yes. Okay. We didn't have YouTube. We didn't have any of that. Y'all, I was raw and unedited back then. I had to figure out things. So you've got a plan now. You know you need to get things done. Your home needs to be clean. There's laundry that needs to be done. There's bills that need to be paid. And you have got a plan. And you need to implement it, and you got to put these things in order. But you got to do it with a baby in tow, a toddler hanging at your feet, screaming, another one hollering, Mom, I'm hungry. All right, so let's do this. Is your baby's hungry, Mama? Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. I get distracted very easily. Squirrel. Okay. Anyway. If you're in your postpartum years, you've just had a baby, y'all, please don't try to be Superwoman. Please do not try to be Superwoman. My daughter-in-law at the time, our first grandchild was born, and then the second one, she suffered from postpartum very bad. Very bad. And I was there. I helped. I did everything I could. So I'm talking from a person that doesn't have postpartum, never had it, didn't even have it with my second one. He just never would let me sleep. I was just an exhausted mama when that second one came along. He didn't sleep very good. Oh, his naps were like 20-minute little power naps, and I needed like a 2-hour long hibernating nap. But he wouldn't let me. He didn't sleep good at night. That child awoke every 2 hours all the way up until he was like 2. Wouldn't sleep in his own crib. Never slept in his own crib. I tried all the training techniques there was out there. I watched Super Nanny all the time. Got a bunch of ideas from her, by the way. She's still on TV a little bit. Or you can catch her on YouTube. But That second one, y'all, just didn't sleep. He didn't sleep. That means I didn't sleep. Please, if you're postpartum or you're having trouble with a baby, give yourself some grace. It's going to be okay. Do not stress yourself out. And most of all, do not be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for help. You may be off somewhere thousands of miles away from your mom or your grandma, something. Reach out to a church member. Reach out to a co-worker if you're in the working field. Reach out to someone for help. Do not sit there with postpartum depression. Please, for the love of God and everything good and you and your baby, do not do that. Find some help. When you get some help, or if you finally can get things together, and after that first few weeks of the hard postpartum and everything starts seeming to get just a little bit better, and then you're able to come up with a plan, here's some ways that I found out how to implement. That first thing, if your baby will just not let you put it down, but you also want that time with your baby, those snuggles, that skin-to-skin contact, breastfeeding. Find a baby wrap, a baby carrier. I had to wear both of my babies if I wanted to get things done, especially that second one. And y'all, it come in handy with the granddaughters. I could get in my kitchen, start cooking supper, meal prepping. I could do anything in my kitchen with my grandbaby strapped to me. And they enjoyed it. Because you know what? They started watching, kept them occupied. They were learning. They were copycatting. They were just satisfied being close to me, being where I was at. And I would not ignore them. I would talk to them. They could hear my voice. I would talk to them. I would tell them what I was doing. Don't think babies can't learn something as being babies. They may just be laying there, minding their own business, passing gas, burping, spitting up, looking around with glossy over eyes. Don't think they're not listening and they're not learning. They have senses. They smell you. I'll get to that in a minute. They smell you. They can see you somewhat. But you know what? Most of all, they know your voice. They know when it's mom because they spent 9 months inside of you listening to your voice, listening to all your internal organ sounds, as nasty as that may sound. They know your heartbeat. They know your heartbeat. Okay, wear them if you have to. Wear them. I did with my 2 boys, and I did it with my granddaughters. They can hear your voice. You're talking to them. You're interacting with them while you're washing the dishes, while you're cutting up some vegetables. Talk to that baby. If your back is hurting and you don't want to tote them, take your car seat carrier and put it in the floor or put it somewhere safely on a counter beside you. I had like little toys, a little mobile across the handle of my car seat carrier. And they could play with that. Had some teething toys till they kind of started getting a little squirmy. Now, as they grew, I got more things that they could come in the kitchen with me. Oh, let's see. A little bouncy seat, a little rocker bouncy thing, whatever you call it, y'all. Then a bumbo seat, a detachable high chair seat that could go on top of the counter. Then they just started graduating to a high chair. Oh, I forgot this. When they were little and they just needed like to lay down or something, I had a pack and play that started from birth, had the little diaper changing table, had the top on it, like that was the diaper changing, but I would also use that as a little bed. And then as they got older, I could take the diaper changing thing off and flip it backwards, and it'd be the playpen. Y'all, you know how many times I have drug a playpen through my house, or a high chair, or carried a bumbo seat wherever I need to go and get something done? As long as they were with me, they did not care. Try some of those things. Request some things at your bridal showers, things like that. Get things that you need to maybe still get your tasks done, but you're still right there with them. Still right there with them. I had my kids in the kitchen with me. They were all through the house with me trying to vacuum, folding laundry, whatever. One would be in their playpen or in the floor, playing with something like I would give tummy time and back time, and then there was just times I would just sit and hold, okay? So anything like that you can still have them right there beside you where they can hear you, especially babies. If you wear them, they're right there close to your heart. They can hear your heartbeat, and that will soothe a crying baby in a matter of seconds, provided nothing's wrong. But they can hear your voice, they can hear your heartbeat, your breathing, everything. Now, when they outgrow that little baby wrap, then forward face them and let them see what you're doing. Turn them around to the front and let them see what you're doing. Playing in that dough if you're making bread or cutting up those vegetables. Teach at the same time you're doing this. Then when they got a little bigger, the fun came in, y'all. When they got a little bigger. Toddlers. Anything you're doing, a toddler's going to want to do. Trust me. They want to copycat you. Give them a broom. Give them a mop. Give them a rag or a face towel to fold while you're doing laundry. Give them a mop. No, it's not going to be perfect, but they're doing what you're doing, and as long as they're doing what you're doing, they're happy, okay? The older they get and they start walking and stuff, incorporate them. They graduated to little stools that I have in my kitchen. They were the kind that when they were climbing up and learning like that, I had the kind that braced them in where they wouldn't fall out. Then they just graduated to the ones that you could just climb up and do whatever I was doing. And then now they can just stand there and do their own stuff. But y'all, if I had them like in a bumbo seat or a high chair or something like that, I would always have like some little snackies or toys, teething toys, a juice bottle, something where if they got bored watching me, they would have something right there that they could grab, entertain themselves, but still keeping out a bird's eye view on me. Because like I said, that second one, I couldn't get out of his sight for nothing. Both of my boys grew up learning how to cook because a lot of times they were in the kitchen with me. My second one can come up with a meal on a whim just by looking at some ingredients and use his imagination. At 3 years old, he's in the kitchen with me on a bar stool. I set him free with some cut up zucchini and squash and a griddle and a pair of tongs. And I was watching, and he just sat there and flipped zucchini and squash for me, grilling it on a griddle. Yeah. And they learn. They listen. You can teach a lot if you get your kids in the kitchen with you. You can teach them a lot when you're sitting there folding laundry. I've taught toddlers and preschoolers how to fold towels, and at 4 years old, our youngest granddaughter could fold a set of king-size sheets, flat and fitted, all by herself. 4. You're teaching responsibility. You're teaching life skills. You're teaching. Trust me when I say you're teaching. You're teaching life skills. You're teaching everything when you've got your kids in there with you. So take that opportunity. When I was 2 years old, 2 or 3, y'all, I was learning how to make my own bed. My mama said, you know what? If you can learn how to do this, I'm going to teach you. I was 2 or 3 learning how to make my own bed. Yes. Was it perfect? No. Was I learning the steps? Yes. Did I get better as I went? Yes. I know how to make a bed now about as good as those in boot camp or in basic training. I can square them sheets up tight, fold them corners in. I can fold a fitted sheet. Got a video on that. My point being, when you get that plan in motion, or when you get that plan in your mind and you need to carry it out, there's ways to get creative, implement those plans. Sometimes you may have to improvise. You may get a baby or a toddler that's just going to get a little bit of cranky, and you are almost through with supper. It's right there. You're about to get it out of the oven, or you're in the middle of it, and the baby or the toddler or preschooler starts getting a little cranky. Well, tend to that baby. Tend to that. Go sit down and nurse. Go sit down and give a snack, give a bottle, give a juice cup, whatever you need to do. They're kind of more important. Yes, you need to eat, but do what you have to do. Always, 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 always take the opportunity. Instead of running from your kids and saying, I've got this to do, y'all just go play, go sit down, go color this. Take them with you. Incorporate them and get them involved in everything you're doing. Take that time to teach those children. You are building life skills that you just don't understand and you don't realize at the time. They will learn. They'll learn responsibility. Then when they get old enough, you can start kind of implementing some chores to the abled ones that are old enough to carry out some simple tasks. Start coming up with chore charts. Got a video on that one in my homemaking playlist. Where there's a will, there's a way. You have a plan now. Start implementing it. Get creative and improvise.